Hey everyone, it's Brett from Hope to Prosper, and I'm at White Sands National Park in the dunes, and sorry about the wind, but not much I can do about it. Anyways, it's a beautiful place, and I'm having a great time just hiking around. I hope you enjoy the footage. I know you're going to love it. All right. Oh, and by the way, this is my 20th national park, so I'm halfway to my goal. I'm very excited about that. All right. Thanks for coming along. So I was answering a viewer comment on another YouTube channel, actually another YouTube retirement channel, and I thought the information could help my viewers as well. So I decided to use it for this week's subject, and here it is, my fast 3-step retirement action plan. Now, this is by no means a comprehensive retirement plan. It's something you want to fill in the blanks later. It's really designed to be more like an 8-minute reality check. You know, if you're thinking about retiring, you're not sure if you're retiring, or you're getting ready to retire, I hope this information helps you out. The viewer, I answered the question, they were just going to take the plunge, and I recommended this instead. And I took the plunge. It didn't work out well for me, and so I'm going to recommend this to you as well. So nothing's worse than being unsure if you could afford to retire. And this video will let you know pretty quickly if you can or not, and if you can, how much money you're going to have in retirement. So let's dig in. Let's get started. So number one, step one, health insurance quotes. If you're retiring early, like I did, I retired at 58. So I had to go get my own insurance for 7 years before I get Medicare. And health insurance, it's going to be one of your biggest concerns. It's like a biggest variable. And it's not easy to nail down the cost, quality, and availability of health insurance. It varies wildly. So even if you're 65 and you qualify for Medicare, there's still going to be a lot of additional costs you may not have counted on. So things like Parts C and D, prescriptions, deductibles, all those things add up fast. So no matter what your situation is, accurately predicting your medical expenses, it's critical for your retirement planning. You have to kind of nail down your medical costs first in order to be prepared for the next 2 steps I'm going to give you. And it's not something you want to screw up. You really want to know what you're going to have to pay. And so if you're under 65 years old, I would get quotes from COBRA if you have an existing job, and your local ACA exchange, Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, for your retirement coverage. I would get quotes from both. And if you are still offered some plan by your employer beyond COBRA, I would get quotes for that as well, and then I would compare the three. So choose the best coverage for your available to you and your situation. And keep in mind that copays and deductibles are need to be factored in too. Those are also additional costs. Step 2, create a retirement budget. This is something I really wish I had done before I retired. I retired without a budget or a plan, and I lost a lot of sleep over it for a couple months before I figured it out. The good news is that once I did create a plan, I was in a lot better shape than I had thought. I was in a better spot. So please don't be like me. Create a retirement plan before you retire. If you know you're retiring, you might get laid off like me and just be out there. But make sure your retirement budget is at least 80% of your working budget, and that it includes your new medical expenses. The reason I say 80%, that's just a good starting point. You know, you're going to save a lot of money on work-related expenses like commuting and clothes and lunches out and things of that sort. But then you'll have new costs like travel and medical expenses. You know, I kept blowing my budget because I used 80% and it wasn't enough because I was traveling a lot, and those were new expenses for me. But what I did was I decided that travel is going to be a normal part of my 50s and 60s, so I increased my budget to include the travel, and I'm glad I did it. Now I'm on track with my budget, even though I had to increase it, and I'm happy with that. And I've checked it since, and I'm doing great. Number 3, check your retirement plan. Yeah, this is a big step. The way I created my retirement plan is I used a free tool called FICalc, and I noticed a lot of people are using this. Joe Kuhn is one of the big retirement gurus. He just did a little overview of it, and I recommend it for people who just want to try something out without paying for something. And then later, they have a paid version, or you could use other paid versions of similar tools. But for right now, I would just use FICalc. I'll put the URL up in the screen and a link below, but basically it's just ficalc.app. It's a wonderful tool, and you can put in all kinds of variables. You put in your budget, you put in your portfolio, you choose options, and then it will do a Monte Carlo simulation, and it will predict the probability of success of your retirement plan. And if your retirement plan's in the high 80s or the 90s, you have a pretty good shot at it. And some of you may want to engage a certified financial planner instead. I'm kind of a DIY guy, and I loved FICalc. It was just quick and dirty, and it worked. I might go with one of the paid plans later, or I might pay a financial planner to prepare a financial plan for me and check all my stuff. But I am not going to go to a financial planner and give up 1 or 2% of my assets under management, because that's the money I'm living on, and I can't afford to give it up to a planner. So either way, this will let you know where you stand, and you won't be guessing. So let's talk about one more thing about your financial plan. No plan is foolproof. Don't expect that. You'll just disappoint and worry yourself. No matter how carefully you plan, no plan's going to be perfect. It's not going to be foolproof. Laws and taxes change. The government even changes. We went through an election cycle. And so there's no perfect way to predict how your retirement will go. The market crashes, pensions become insolvent, Social Security is underfunded. Who knows what kind of curveballs it's going to throw for you. So just be prepared the best you can and be ready to pivot or adapt as the landscape changes. The good news is that a good plan, it's not cast in stone, and you can still live an amazing retirement with less money if that's what you have to do. People do adapt, and so don't worry about it. So let's wrap this up. The bottom line is that nothing gives you peace of mind and confidence like a plan. I wish I had planned better when I went into retirement, but I got laid off and I scuffled around for a couple months until I figured it out. Now that I have figured it out and I have a solid plan, retirement's going great. It's going even better than expected. So I'm enjoying my retirement instead of worrying about it, and that's what I recommend to you. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below in the comments section. But keep in mind that I'm not authorized or certified or even qualified probably to give out individual investment advice. Okay, I'm going to record the outro in the car because the wind's howling. Anyways, man, I loved White Sands. It was so beautiful. It was so fun. I went for a great hike in the backcountry trail. I didn't cover the whole loop, but man, it was fun just to be out away from everybody else. Anyways, thanks for coming along. I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope you enjoyed the backdrop and the footage. And I will see you next week on our next big adventure, Carlsbad Caverns. And man, I appreciate you coming along. Okay, I wish you all health, happiness, and prosperity in your lives, and I will see you next week.